Hello everyone! I'm so sorry for all the tech issues. We are trying everything we can to get this mental health anxiety conversation going. And I hope you're all okay. So, if you missed it before, I'm Leah. I'm the new admin that's joined, and I'm so excited to get started. Okay. Yeah, I'm really excited to get started.
Yes.
Thank you. You're on
Finally.
the screen. I'm not imagining this, am I?
Right. We are on.
Working.
Yeah.
Okay. Boom. So we'll just wait for some more people to join us after the 3 times we've been like. Right. Can everybody see us okay and hear us okay? Because me and Paul have had such an issue with this before. But I can't believe we've managed to do it. Told you.
Yeah.
How's everyone feeling doing this evening? Now you finally have us both. Finally. Hi, Caitlin.
Hi.
How are you doing? We are on this evening to talk about anxiety and different takes on it, I suppose. So, I guess for anybody that just missed as well, Leah, do you want to just, introduce you a little bit as well?
Okay. So, I'm Leah. I am a student from Hull. I worked as a hairdresser for years and then decided that I was absolutely miserable in my career as a hairdresser. So I had a career change and I'm now a biology student and love it. Love it. I've suffered with anxiety for quite a few years. I've only been open and honest the past few years, and it was actually this gorgeous girl sat in front of me here that really helped me to open up and to realise that what I was suffering was anxiety. That's a little bit about me. And I'm waffling a little bit because I'm a bit nervous, if you can't tell.
I get nervous every single time still. I think it would be a bit inhuman not to be, I guess, laying your soul a bit bare. Right. Hopefully we get some more people come in then. But if not, we'll go with it because people can catch it up with us, and it's funny you just mentioned that. Actually, I was thinking today about what we've known each other a few years now. And I always saw the little signs, and you're like, no, I'm fine. Caitlin, you get a bit better than I have been recently. I'm starting to get the help I need. Found out today I'm not going back to do assessments in college until the Easter break. Oh, Leah's in a bit of a similar situation studying. I don't know, is that similar for you, Leah, or?
Yeah, I've had a lot of my assessment dates change. It's really annoying because you get the date into your mind and you get yourself all prepared and ready, and then it changes. So it's like, do I carry on getting prepped? Do I take a break? It's the worst feeling ever. So I can completely understand that.
Yeah, it's like I always remember being at uni all that long ago now, and you had those deadlines. I can't imagine what it's like now, because it's got to be so flexible, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like you're actually getting the same amount of study time, I suppose, like the same amount of care that you would normally, or?
Not at all. I personally don't believe we are at all. A lot of my lectures this year are pre-recorded from a few years ago. So
Really?
you email the lecturer like, oh, I don't understand what you spoke about, da, da, da. And they're like, oh, well, it was a few years ago, so I can't really remember that bit. Let me go and have a look. And it's like, great, wonderful.
Oh, that's not good. No
So
wonder
yeah,
there's like kids struggling,
yeah,
like with their GCSEs and things like that, and well, GCSEs onwards. Practical side. Oh yeah, you can go in for
yeah.
practicals now, can't you? In school, college, and uni. Is that right?
I think it depends on the course, I believe, because my university are letting art students in for their practicals, but not science students. I don't know
All
how
right.
it works. Because apparently we can watch our practicals online and it's the same thing, but an art student can't do art at home because of they don't have the equipment. I have no idea how that works. It's great for the art students.
Yeah, that's not good, is it, at all?
Yeah, just one of them things.
So, I guess what we should do is like kind of, well, come on and talk about what we were going to talk about. So we kind of have the Caitlin, not doing in Wales. I'm doing hairdressing and we're not allowed back as we're close to. But Leah's the person to speak to there.
Yeah, I was a hairdresser up till last March. Oh, it's ticking. Um, I didn't, I, I didn't enjoy it. Yeah, I did at the start, but yeah, I do know it's really hard for hairdressers at the minute as they're not allowed to go back to work. So I know a lot of my friends are struggling with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Practical courses like that, like hairdressing. How the hell would you qualify to be a hairdresser at the minute?
I take it it's a lot of stuff on the dolly head.
You can use my head if you
Yeah.
want. I'll wear a mask. I need I need some help.
Yeah.
But yeah, what we were gonna like the sort of little plan we had, we were gonna sort of put questions to each other, like loose questions anyway, to create a conversation about our anxieties, and things like that. Because as Leah said, she's sort of had hers for a few years. Am I right in saying that, Leah? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But from what I know of Leah, like it's only really now that she said, "Oh yeah, yeah."
Yeah. Yeah, well, people, I think a lot of the time with a lot of people didn't used to believe me when I said
Mm,
that I was a hairdresser that suffered with anxiety because my job was talking to people all day long. But I was talking about them. I wasn't talking about myself.
yeah.
So it's a completely different ballgame when you're out socially and when you're in work, I found. So when I was
Oh
in
yeah.
work, I was a completely different person to when I was out socially.
Yeah, I've had that as well because I'm studying drama. People saying, "Well, how can you have anxiety and then get up on the stage and do what you do?" It's different. It's like wearing a mask, I suppose, or act. Well, you are acting, obviously, but it's like I completely disassociate myself from that other person.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah,
get that, completely get that. But
yeah, yeah. It's a similar thing.
very. And it's funny actually, you being a hairdresser saying obviously you had anxiety. I get really anxious about going to the hairdresser because of the conversation that I've got to have.
It's so common. It is so common. The amount of people that used to sit in my chair and tell me that they was anxious, and I completely
Yeah.
understand it.
Like Luke won't go to the hairdresser. It's like I've mastered his haircuts now because he doesn't like the social. He finds it really awkward.
Yeah, yeah.
But
A lot of men do. I mean, some men love it, but a lot of men you can just see it's like, please don't speak to me. And I will say I thought I was quite respectful of that, but some people would just try and try and
yeah.
try, and it's like, just stop, honestly.
Would you say like you have social anxiety then, as well, or it, would you say your social anxiety is stronger than, generally speaking?
Oh, I've never thought about that, you know. Um, I'm going to give you a really politician's answer, and it depends on my mood.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can be really in the mood to go out and chat to people, and
Mm.
sometimes I'm like, I want to go and live under a rock and never see people again.
Oh, I get that. I get that.
Yeah, I mean, I personally am quite nervous about the world going back to normal. I'm quite nervous
Right.
about having to socialise again. I've quite liked having the excuse of lockdown in some ways, not to socialise.
Oh yeah, I've loved lockdown. I'm not gonna lie. It's been great for me because I don't like crowds. I hate I
Yeah,
hate being in shops with people next to me. It really freaks me out. I'm a
yeah,
bit of a hermit anyway.
yeah,
So
yeah,
not that much has changed for
yeah,
me personally.
yeah. It's
So
yeah. I've definitely enjoyed having that excuse of if somebody wants to go on like a social distance walk and I'm like not feeling that social that day, to just be like, oh well, lockdown. I'm not sure. Really, it was like I didn't want to that day, and that is so bad to admit. But really, I should be able to sit there and say, actually, I'm not feeling that confident today, or I'm not
mm.
feeling that social today, and just be honest with it. But
It's difficult though, isn't it? It is really difficult to talk about and say, do you know what? I actually don't want to be around you, and it's not because of you, it's because of me.
yeah,
That's how it is, isn't it?
it's like the cheesiest
Right.
breakup line ever. But like, it's not you,
It's
it's
it's not
me.
true. Bianca, even in those situations, I bet sometimes they even get to thinking now and then, thinking about myself going to the horses. The good thing is there's so much space and I can escape the social part enough easily. It's good. I all of my hobbies are quite just lone things, to be honest. Everything I do is quite lonely. That sounds awful, but it's true. So I
So,
get that bit. I really get that. But that's going to have been hard being in such a social environment because the hairdressers is a social environment, in it.
yeah,
Do you think that suppressed your anxiety then? Do you think it made it worse? But you couldn't really say anything.
definitely, definitely, yeah. I mean, like it's been. I don't know if my internet's broken up, but yeah, it's definitely been like the past year since I left the salon that I've really been able to like talk about it more openly and deal with it.
Yeah.
For years, I just put off dealing with it. I mean, I probably had a
Mm.
chat with you like 18 months ago, and I was like, no, I'm fine.
You
Yeah.
did.
And you was like, are
And
you
it,
sure?
when you suffer, you can see it in other people because there's little things that only we would know. It's like a little club, and there's just little things that you can see.
Yeah,
And I think, especially when the word anxiety is used quite flippantly, I think as well now. I think a lot of people are actually scared to be really honest about what it means for them.
yeah, definitely,
We've paused. Oh no, I'm back.
definitely. You're back.
um, can everybody hear us okay, by the way? Because you froze at one point and then it paused, but I think we're okay.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was me or you, so I just carried on talking.
It's fine. So, like, how do you feel about saying it? Like, coming out, as it were?
Going out, it's funny. I I'm talking to people that I don't know about it now. I'm talking to you, but I'm really struggling to tell my family about it. I
Mm,
actually haven't told any of my family members about it yet, just
mm,
because I don't really know what to say.
yeah.
Uh, as well because like they just think of me as like chatty hairdresser Leah. So it's like I don't even know how to broach the subject.
Do you know what? I can't ever remember actually sitting down with my family and ever saying it. It was just, I think it was picked up on rather than me having to say anything. But I guess I'm in the position where my dad suffers quite badly with it as well. So I think he could see it sort of unraveling and we didn't really need to say anything. But it is a tough conversation to have. And I feel a lot better speaking to strangers than I do anybody like close with me.
Yeah. Okay, well, at least I know that's not just me then.
No, it's not just you. I would happily get a room full of strangers and talk about it than have to sit down on the sofa next to my mum and dad. Put it that way.
Okay.
So, and I think it will come. It's just obviously I'm years down the road with it now, so it is what it is.
Yeah. So you say it's been years. How long has it been for you?
I mean, when you're a child, you don't really hear the word anxiety. Not when we were kids, anyway. But I can look back at it and probably say 8 or 9, maybe.
Okay.
Obviously, I didn't think I had an issue with it then, but looking back at it, yeah, I was always the really shy kid at school,
Yeah.
but like more than just normal. Like I would, I would fall to pieces if a teacher asked me a question, or I hated PE because I didn't want people
Yeah.
looking at me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Socially, I wasn't like I just didn't like being in social situations.
Yeah.
And then like say from about the age of 8 to about 16, I had a lot of things going on with family, and it was just one thing after the other, and it was I never really dealt with one first and then the other. So it was a build up, and then I think when I got to about 15, 16, I thought, oh shit, I have got a problem here.
At least yours was
Yeah.
15, 16, not like 23.
No, but I think it's good that you sort of, I mean, I know you know truly yourself that you've had it for talking about it now before it gets to that point where you can't live with it, because I've been there and it's awful where you just can't physically say the word.
Mm. Yeah.
I mean, I mean, is it just like a professional and obviously us now that you've spoken to, or?
Oh, of what my partner knows. And 3 of my friends. And at the minute that's it. And I do I'm trying to like rather than just coming out with it, I'm trying to sort of speak about it a little bit and bring it in sort of gently with like friends and family. Because at the
Yeah,
end of the day, I don't want to upset them either.
yeah,
Like I don't want them to worry about me because that's going to make me more anxious.
yeah, I get that. I
Like
completely get that.
I'm fine, and at the minute now I'm better than I've ever been because I'm actually doing something about it, and I can see that light at the end of the tunnel. So like
Mm.
to tell them, I'm like they're going to be anxious, and I'm like I'm actually fine right now. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel I'll then start feeling guilty, and it's like
It's a
oh, it's
vicious
like a whole thing.
circle, yeah.
Yeah,
I think I know exactly how you feel, because I remember like knowing about my anxiety and knowing that my dad had anxiety, so I didn't want to set off his. So it was like, oh right, okay, and we'll just let this roll for a little bit and a little bit more until it gets to the point where it's just
yeah,
you don't know what to say because you're that in it and you're that involved in it, and you know. So like, what would you say was the moment that you realised that you had anxiety then, more than just nervousness or anxiousness? What would you say is the moment, if you're comfortable in sharing that? Like,
Well, it was actually with you, my dear.
oh God.
You outed me to myself. Yeah, I was talking about something, and you was like, you just sort of said like, "Oh, is it like an anxiety?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, it probably is like that." And like before then, I'd never thought of it as anxiety, because to me, before then, anxiety was like not being able to get out of bed in the morning and like not being able to do anything. But at that time, I was doing all them things. So I'm like, no, I'm just getting a bit nervous. I just get stomach cramps. I just like start to breathe heavily. It's just nerves. It is not anxiety. You know.
As I said, if you're one, you know one. You can see those little signs. And you're completely right. You can, like, you've probably got what's called high functioning anxiety. Like me, I can be a million miles an hour, have a million things going on, be absolutely fine, and I'll keep rolling with it and roll with it, and then I'll hit a wall.
Yeah.
And that's it. I am on the floor with my anxiety, but I'll get back up. And at the minute, I don't seem to learn my lesson. I'll run a million miles an hour and have all these balls juggling in the air and then just stop rather than pace.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this was something I really wanted to ask you about, because like at the minute I'm still learning about it and what it means to me, sort of thing, and how it affects me. So it's like a lot of people talk about triggers, and I don't really know mine yet.
Right.
I mean, I can count like supermarkets as a trigger.
Right.
Hate them. So like, how did you figure out yours, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, my triggers. I think you can reflect some days on your patterns of behaviour and wonder why you're doing certain things. You'll see your behaviour form a pattern. Like, for instance, it sounds strange, but for a while, I was taking the kids to nursery and I was actively choosing to go the long way around. Not because one's way is safer than the other, but one involved going under a bridge. And in my head, all the time that I was going under that bridge, I was thinking, well, what about if this bridge collapses and it falls on the buggy? And what about if I can't get the buggy out? And that thought went through my head a million miles an hour every time I went under this bridge. So that was a trigger. And I think I've worked out that having children, that's my biggest trigger. I think them in danger.
Okay.
What else? Crowds, like, you say supermarkets. I shop at certain times of day where I know it's going to be quieter. But I also find that I don't really need a reason at all. I can wake up and I can be really pissed off and just anxious and annoyed.
Yeah.
From nowhere.
Yeah.
And I think people search for a reason sometimes, and sometimes there just isn't one, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just one of those things.
Yeah. It's funny, like before I was sort of open about it, and whilst I was still hairdressing, I look at my life as two separate things now, as whilst I was still hairdressing and now. And like back then, supermarkets never bothered me. But now I can't stand going in them. The tannoy, like I hate it. I hate it. Like when it dings, I'll like try and cover my ears. It makes me feel sick. I just hate that noise. And it never used to bother me before. And I don't know if it's because like now I'm just in my house on my own all the time, so there's not really any loud noises. Whereas before I was quite used to it.
Yeah.
Don't know.
That's it's a bit of hypervigilance, isn't it, and the sensory thing with loud noises. Is there any other loud noises then that sort of trigger you, or other than that? Oh, let me just put my charger in. Hang on a minute. Go on, carry on.
Um, Probably. I can't think of any off the top of my head. But yeah, loud noises. Yeah, I don't like them. Don't do loud noises. I don't even know if that's an anxiety thing. I've always just assumed it is, but
Right, it can be. I think the thing I have found, speaking to different professionals and things like that, you get a lot of people telling you, oh, well, that's not your anxiety, it's this, it's that, the other. You know your own body, you know what anxiety can cause. For instance, my anxiety can make me physically not be able to move my legs. It can like get to the point. There was a point when I was on crutches for about 2 months because I couldn't walk. My anxiety was crippling me that much. And the doctors were like, no, this cannot be anxiety. And I said to her, I am telling you that this is anxiety. There is nothing else wrong. There was loads of tests done. There was nothing wrong with me. It was my anxiety. I could not.
wow. See, I've never heard of that before.
It's such a powerful thing. The physical response it can bring out. Have you had any physical like symptoms like with it?
I mean, IBS, but I don't know if we really want to get into that.
That's common. It's really common.
And I've just spotted Luke's watching, so that's fun.
I'm glad you can see people are watching because I can't. Mine's just stuck at just me watching.
Oh, okay. No, it's not just you watching. I'm just announcing to the world about IBS.
No, it's common. It's really common.
It's awful. It's really awful. I wouldn't wish IBS on my worst enemy.
No, I'm completely the same, but it's bladder control. I'm constantly needing to pee.
Yeah, I can get that. Yeah, I get that.
I get blurred vision. That's one thing I do get.
Yeah.
Do you get the panic attacks with it, like the physical panic? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have left a supermarket many a times halfway through a food shop because it's like if I don't get out now, like, nah, it wouldn't have been a pretty scene enough, though. Let's just put it that way.
I don't get so much anymore the proper panicky breathing, the typical thing that people imagine.
Yeah.
But I feel sick and I can feel it in the bottom of my stomach and I feel like I'm going to throw up and I know it's coming and I can feel my heartbeat. I can just feel it and I can see my pulse sometimes and I'm just like, shit.
Yeah. And like the worst thing someone can say to me, it's like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
What's wrong? It's like, I don't know. That's the issue. Like, yeah.
We was on about this, me and Paula earlier, people saying, well, what's wrong, or what can I do? If I knew, I would have done it before.
Exactly. What's bothering you? Have you got 2 hours for me to tell you everything that's bothering me?
And sometimes something ain't gotta be bothering you. As I say, you can just wake up and you're just instantly pissed off with the world or just instantly don't want to get out of bed or
Yeah.
It's just one of them things.
Oh, hi Lisa, hi Chris.
It's just
I
honestly wouldn't wish anxiety on my worst enemy, and as I said, the physical things it can do to you is unreal.
Okay. Yeah, I never realised how many of the physical things actually linked to the anxiety until I started really looking into it.
Yeah. Have you had any, if you don't mind me asking, have you got medication then now for yours?
Yeah, I am 10 days into taking medication.
And how do you feel?
It's weird. The first couple of days I was like shaking constantly. a bipolar, and then I felt absolutely amazing for a week. And then I've got a little bit of anxiety the last couple of days, but I feel really good in general. I'm feeling really good.
Good, good. I
Yeah,
think
my mind
how,
hasn't felt this clear in a long time.
yeah. It just
So,
levels you off, doesn't it? I always say medication, it's not there to make you happy or think any differently, but it just levels you to a point where you're a bit more rational, I think.
yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Like, I think a lot of people write off people who take medication as, doctors just prescribe it here, there, and other. But
Yeah,
actually, I think if you need it, you need it. And I couldn't live without my medication now. I couldn't.
yeah, yeah. I put it off for a long time. Like I've had conversations with you about it in the past,
Yeah.
and I was like, I don't need it. I'm fine. I'm fine. And then it got to the point where it was like, if I don't do something about it now, it's going to be too late. That's
Yeah.
how I felt. So yeah, last week I had the appointment with my GP, and like even just from admitting to her and admitting to my partner, like I need extra something, I felt a million times better.
You do. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So 10 days in, they usually take a couple more weeks to settle in, and you should feel your level then.
yeah,
That's good.
yeah. As I say, like 2 days in, I already felt like 100 times better, and I think that was
Mm.
because like I'd admitted there was a problem, and like there was light at the end of the tunnel. And I
Yeah.
know I've still got a long way to go, but just for talking about the elephant in the room, I feel so much better.
Good. Good. I am glad. As I said, I remember our conversations, nearly 2 years ago now, and I just saw the little things and I thought, come on now. And I remember saying to you, are you sure you're okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I put off medication for, as I say, like 2 years. And now I'm not sure why, but eventually I came around to the way of thinking of if I was diabetic and I wasn't producing insulin, then I would take medication for that, and there wouldn't be a problem with me taking medication for that. So why is it
Yeah.
any different for mental health?
Yeah. Exactly. And 10 seconds out of your day?
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's to feel a lot better.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Would you say, other than obviously we was on about the social side of lockdown actually helping us, uh, would you say the rest of lockdown sort of, not going to work or having your classes, and seeing family, do you think that's made it worse for you, or?
In some ways, it's made it worse. I will say, if it hadn't have been for lockdown and hadn't been for taking basically like a year out of real life for me, I'd have probably never dealt with my anxiety. I'd have probably carried on hairdressing, carried on pretending there wasn't an issue.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of horrific things have happened in this lockdown, but it has changed my life.
Good.
And
I
it's
am glad.
horrible to admit that when I know so many people have suffered so much, but it possibly
No,
saved my life.
there you go then. That is an upside to it. There has to be an upside to everything, don't there? I mean, we've all
Definitely.
sacrificed something, but it's helped you, and I've I've personally quite enjoyed it as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Samantha, I think this one's for you, Leah.
Oh, um, oh, thank you, Samantha. Thank you. It it's an interesting one. I'd tried to go to my GP quite a few times. I made the appointment, and then I'd get there, sit in the chair, and then make up something else to tell them.
Really?
Yeah, and then come up with something about like, I don't know, headaches or something.
Yeah.
IBS. I told them about that. I'd be trying to tell them and they wasn't listening. I'm not meaning that. GP's doing an amazing job, but I just avoid, like, I tried and tried. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember my first time going to a GP about my anxiety. Well, at that point it was depression, if I'm completely honest. I'd had anxiety a long, long time, but I was in a bit of a depressive state. I was in a situation I didn't really want to be in. And I'd built it up and built it up. And I'd avoided it a really long time, and I was in a bad way. I just said, "What's up? What's the matter? What can I help you with today?" And the first words out of my mouth, and it must have been like a train hitting. I was like, "Oh, I just don't really want to be alive anymore." Just really flippantly.
As if you was really not a shopping list, like.
Yeah. Because I think I'd lived with it that long and just not said anything for that long. It was normal for me to feel like that.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, I don't really want to be here anymore.
Mm.
And it ended, it was quite a lengthy conversation, as you can imagine then. And that was the starting point for me, really. And then I thought I was getting a bit better, so I just went cold turkey off my medication completely. Never do that. Never do that. I'd say this was many years ago now. I know 10 times better now. But I've tried to escape it that many times, but maybe the past 3 or 4 years, I'm cool with it. It's here and it's always been here, and I accept it now.
Yeah.
It does take a while though, I think, for some people. I'm really stubborn.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm very lucky that I can call you one of my best friends who is so open and so positive about mental health. And I have got a few others that go through similar things. And so that has definitely helped me accept it a lot more. Like, listening to conversations like these has helped me so much because it makes me feel more normal.
Yeah.
It makes me feel so not alone with it. Like, for ages I felt like it was just me going through this, and it wasn't at all.
It's a lot more common than you realise. I think 1 in 4 statistically, I think, something like that. Yeah. I think it's good if you've got a support network there. And it's strange because for me as well, in the early days of me having anxiety, I don't think I really wanted to worry them, like you said. So you sort of back away from the people that would support you anyway.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I think that's what anxiety does, though. It'll make you worry about worrying someone else. So then you worry about yourself and you don't know where to go, and it's just stressful.
Yeah. I mean, I tried to have a conversation with a family member yesterday. And basically, they was telling me that their cat has depression.
Right. Okay.
We were going on and on and on about their cat having depression, and I shouldn't laugh because I'm sure that's a real thing. But like, I couldn't, like, I was like, how do I like tell them that I'm suffering with my mental health when they're talking about their cat?
About their cat, yeah. It's like some weird sort of euphemism thing.
Yeah. Like, I was like, I'm just gonna give up and I'll try again another day.
Yeah.
Like, how do you go from a cat having depression to, yeah, I'm suffering with anxiety? Like, how
Would you say you've had depression actually? That interests me because I've had both.
Yeah.
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 At the same time, or because I think it's hard sometimes where the line is between the two.
Yeah, I think it's very like crosses over. But yeah, strangely enough, I'm not as open as talking about it. But yeah, I definitely have had depression.
Yeah, I'm very similar in that actually. I'll talk about my anxiety. It doesn't bother me, but the depression, I think it's because it's more personal and it's a situational very specifically situational.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Sam, from this pandemic, I think there's going to be more than 1 in 4. I agree with that, Sam. I
Yeah.
think we're onto a crisis, to be honest. You know,
Definitely.
you say we're friends, and you're not the first one of my friends that's, said in the past year that they're starting to struggle.
Mm. Mm.
um, and as you say, with the studies and things like that, people at college, uni, wherever it may be, there's no routine, is there? Humans like routine.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, I think that was probably like the biggest thing for me was going, like I worked full time from leaving school. So I'm going to that to like nothing. Like I can't imagine what it's been like for people that have worked like 10, 20, 30 years to just suddenly wake up every day and nothing, just having Netflix waiting for you.
It's true.
To watch
It's
Netflix.
true.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. Because I remember I'd always worked as well from being 15. And then when I got pregnant with Joey, we moved back from Hull to here. And obviously couldn't find work. Nobody was going to take me on heavily pregnant. And then because of the cost of childcare and things, I haven't actually gone back to work yet. And I used to live for work. Like it was the one thing that used to keep my anxiety at bay. So I've had
Yeah.
to find other ways to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I can completely understand that.
because I know some people like the peace and the quiet and nothing to do. I have to have something to do. I don't know about you. I have
Yeah.
to find something. Hi,
Yeah.
Beck. Yeah, the lack of routine is difficult, I think.
Definitely.
So, have you been offered anything by your GP other than medication then, like, your CBT or anything like that?
I did do a little bit of CBT before Christmas,
Yeah.
through a local company near me called Let's Talk. To be honest, because everything's sort of over the phone at the minute,
Yeah.
I'd want to try it again when things are a bit more normal. But at the minute, no, I've just been offered the medication.
Yeah. Well, hopefully when things are a bit back to normal, I mean, hopefully things get better and you don't need it, but should you need it, it'll be better in person.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
I've personally had CBT, and it didn't work for me, but it works for many people. I think it's because I was that far down the road and then trying to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work. That and it when you haven't got a bit of a connection with a person doing it as well, I found that difficult. She was very blank.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So,
Definitely. I have questions for you, but I've gone blank.
ask away if they come to you.
So, I know you said about having the kids has made your anxiety, it's given it a bit more of a focus, shall we say?
Yeah.
Is there anything you found that helps with that, or anything specific? Or
If I'm completely honest, no. I, ever since I found out I was pregnant with Joey, the pregnancy there was issues, the birth there was issues. He's in, the middle of diagnosis for autism and a genetic cell deletion. I had the cesarean with Sylvia by choice because I knew
yeah,
my anxiety couldn't cope with it. So really, I haven't found that thing yet that makes me a bit more settled about them.
okay,
And I think, obviously all parents worry, but I think
yeah,
there's just that little added layer.
mm.
I mean, I think it's eased off a bit. My mum and dad will tell you when I just had Joey and Sylvia weren't around. if they had him for the night or even just like for the afternoon, as soon as I left their front door, what's he doing? What's he doing? Do you want me to come and get him? Do you want me to come and get him? Is he in bed? No, I'm like, yeah, see you later, bye.
Is that just because you're so knackered though? It's like, it's fine.
It's because I know he's okay. Do you know what I mean? It was self-indulgent for me to think
Yeah.
that it wasn't. I
Yeah.
knew he was okay, but it
Yeah.
was about me, not him.
Yeah.
But with Joey having his sensory issues and things, I guess that adds another little bit of worry as well. But I have noticed, like, before the kids, my anxiety, everything I had anxiety about, I don't really have that anymore because it's just a bigger issue with the kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I was saying to someone actually, I mean, I don't know if you get it, but do you get like health anxiety that you worry that you've got this, that, and the other, and you
Yeah.
end up Googling things? Do you
Oh,
do
yeah.
that?
And it's the best thing you can do. Yeah. It's like a headache turns into like stage 3.
Yeah.
However, I'm like, yeah, it's the worst thing you can do. And I'm like,
I just,
worse about Joe, my partner. I'm like, if he has like the tiniest little thing, I'm like, what's wrong with him? And I like get myself into a little kid, and he's like, Leah, I fell, I grazed my ankle, I'm fine.
yeah.
Yeah, like,
Mine comes on from time to time. Like last night, I was Googling and I shouldn't have done. But other than that, because I've got the kids, I've said I really don't care at this point about my health, and I know that's an awful thing to say,
mm,
but in my head, I can't not think about them first, which I guess is natural, I suppose.
yeah,
There we go.
yeah.
So I guess we could open it up if anybody wants to ask us questions.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
as I said, my screen is actually stuck at just me watching it, so I can't see what's going on in the
Okay.
comments or anything really.
Okay.
How do you feel actually, Leah, about talking about it like now? Now we've had this little bit of a conversation.
It felt really strange at first, but yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Not weirdly, I've enjoyed it. It
No,
hasn't
you
been
know
as
what I mean.
daunting as what I thought it was.
No, I
Yeah,
think you can always,
I think it's helped that I like that I know you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think as well, when you know the other person actually knows what it's like rather than just saying it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can't see anything new at the minute, but I know there is a little bit of a delay.
Yeah. But I am so glad that, because I remember worrying about you and I was like, I think there's something else to this. So it was a really nice surprise when you messaged me the other week about it. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd been wanting to message you for a while, but it was strange because you'd said to me so long ago, like, come on, Leah. It was like a part of me didn't want to admit that you was right. Because I'm such a child.
No, I
Yeah.
get that. I get that. As I said, it's just the little things that you would never put with anxiety. But if you've got anxiety, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
But we need to have more conversations like this, and as you said, it's helped you looking at people having conversations like this. So
Definitely. Definitely.
oh, hey, at last I got online. Oh, who is this admin?
Who is this?
Paula. B. Luke's at work, so it won't be Luke. Oh, B. I used to do that when I found I had a lump in my neck. Thankfully, it wasn't anything serious and it just comes and goes often. Oh, that's strange, B. But you got
Yeah.
it checked out. You know, there's no harm in getting things checked out. It's just, you
Yeah.
know, Google is the worst, and I'm so guilty for doing it. Like
Yeah.
100% guilty for doing it.
Yeah. I bet GPs hate Google.
I guess it's even worse at the minute though, because I don't know about you, I can't actually get into my GP that easily at the minute. So
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Oh, it was Paula.
Hi, Paula.
Hi.
I've actually got it at the moment, but the size of a sprout.
Oh.
Hmm. Do you think that's anxiety related then, B? Like, because I get hives. I don't know if you do, Leah, but I get like hives or heat rash or.
I get like dry skin on the tops of my hands, but it's like, oh, I've got it now. Well, it's not red or anything. So just get me arm out. Like, oh, it's just me arm.
No, don't Google, guys. You're so right, Paula, but it's just so tempting, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I always do it when I'm in bed, when Luke's asleep and I've got the phone next to me. I'm just
We
like,
wait till Luke's asleep. That's like proper naughty school kid stuff.
oh, I'm not sure. Possibly I get hives, rashes, and dry skin. Yeah, it could be then, maybe. If the doctor said it's nothing other than, you know, if it's not serious and anything that they could see tangible, maybe.
Yeah.
Possibly. As I said, I'll get blurred vision, but I get it like it's just like a ring around this eye. It's really strange. It doesn't happen in this eye, but just this one, and it's like a ring of just blur.
Okay. I don't get a ring. It's sort of like the edges blur
Yeah,
for me.
yeah. So
Any more symptoms anyone wants to share? Do you want to get any body parts out, Lauren?
no thanks. No, thank you. No, I was googling last night about restless legs because I get restless leg syndrome, and I haven't
Yeah.
really slept now in 2 weeks properly. It's driving me insane. And I googled, so what came up was, you know, it might be a side effect of my medication,
Yeah.
which I knew, iron deficiency, which I have. Then it could be like onset of early heart failure and this, that, and the other,
No.
and you know, given things in my personal life at the minute, I've panicked.
Yeah.
Yes, I have that too, Lauren. It's really common. Like, I thought it was just me being a bit strange, like my legs just sort of just doing a bit of a jive whilst I was in bed, but it's constant.
It's interesting because I've been on my medication like 10 days now, and I've definitely noticed it more since I started taking it. So
Yeah.
it must be linked because I know we're on the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm on quite a high dosage and I'm worried about them wanting to take that down. Because it's what do I live with then? Do I live with the restless legs and not
Okay.
allowing me to sleep? Or do I come with, you know, level, you know, crash off a bit with my medication, which I don't want to do. So
Could you try a different form of medication, or have you been there, done that? Got
I've
the
tried
same.
them all there, to be honest with you. If I'm
Okay,
completely honest, I think I'm on about my fifth different to try and get it right, and this one's the one that's worked for me.
right, okay. See, it's interesting because they've put me on the exact same thing you're on, but this is my first time. So
Yeah.
I don't get how they decide who goes on what.
Well, the first one I was on was citalopram, which works for a lot of people, but honestly, I was that close to just, you know, let's not talk about it. It really made me much more depressed. I've been on a different one because of my pregnancy, because you have to.
Yeah.
One, I had a really bad reaction within like 10 minutes. I was on the floor, just Luke
Yeah.
was on the phone to 999
Yeah.
because I just had a really bad reaction.
Yeah.
I've been on beta blockers because of my panic attacks.
Okay.
So yeah.
Maybe stick with what you're on then. Just ignore
This
Leah.
is what I'm worried about. This is what I'm worried about. But you know, medication, it's like I always say to anyone, you're very lucky if you find, you know, the right one for you first time, great. But if it doesn't work, don't necessarily think it's just medication's not for you. Go back to the GP
Yeah.
and just talk about it, because they might put you on something else, or there might be
Yeah.
another way of dealing with it.
Mm.
'Cause, to be quite honest, a lot of people, you know, put down people who are on medication and, oh, you must go the natural route, which is great. And I try and do everything, you know, my diet, like I've cut out my sugar, I've cut down on my caffeine a lot to try and help. But I need my medication.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've just got to find what works for you. And medication won't work for everybody.
Mm.
It just won't. But if it does, it does. There's no shame in that.
Yeah. Yeah. The IBS is measurement. Yeah. IBS. Horrible. Horrible. It's interesting, like, even though my anxiety's been worse since I left work, the IBS was worse whilst I was at work. So it was obviously just being suppressed in a different way. But it really is awful.
Paula, I do believe you have to do other things for yourself along with medication. Oh, I completely agree, Paula. And as I say, I do. I think it's because I've come up against, like me personally, when I've spoke about it before, actually, about medication, I've come up against some people who are very like, oh, well, you know, medication, it's just, you know, giving you a false sense of security, that kind of thing. Do you know what? It feels really real to me, so I'll keep it,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Like, it was like I was saying about the diabetes earlier, like, you wouldn't question someone taking insulin tablets if those diabetics. So, like, why is it any different for mental health?
Mm.
I, I really don't get it. I don't understand the stigma.
I've never understood it, but it is what it is, I suppose, for
Mhm.
people. As I say, like I've changed my diet slightly because, you know, it does impact it strangely. Things that you wouldn't even think of, like white bread, change to brown. It does. It's only little, but it does have a factor.
What are we talking about affecting the mental health or the
Yeah,
idea?
mental health,
Okay.
mental health. Um, you know, my sugar, I've gone to purely sweetener now.
Mm.
Caffeine is the big one, and it's my biggest thing to try and cut down, but I have. There's just loads with your diet that you can help, but you know, there's your talking therapies, meditation. Paula loves her meditation,
Mm. Yeah.
and journaling. Paula does as well.
Yeah.
Have you thought about
Yeah.
anything like that, Lee?
Yeah. I've tried meditation before. I usually just fall asleep, which is probably a good thing because it means I sleep. But I don't know if that's what's meant to happen.
See, I've got my journal in front of me, and it feels really silly to begin with, but Paula got me into this. Like, I write down my things I'm grateful for every single day. Not general things, but like things that have happened in the day. Like, like this is going back a while because this is the start of my journal. But today, I am grateful for Sylvia potty training. Luke finally having a day off, and I put Paula's words of wisdom, and I do that every single day, just 3 things. And you
Yeah.
feel stupid to begin with, but it does work.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd worry. It sounds really weird, but I'd worry that I wouldn't be able to find 3 things, and then I'd start getting stressed. But I suppose you can always find 3 things, even if it's like that bar of chocolate you had at lunch.
If it makes you feel a bit better, then you know.
Yeah. 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 I'll have to start that one.
What else have we got in here? Like, Paula's taught me a lot about journaling, like putting down, you know, your affirmations and what's your strengths and what you love about yourself. And it just felt really ridiculous to start with, because I was like, when we first did this, I was like, do you really do it every day, Paula? Does it really make a difference? And it does.
Okay.
It's a weird one. It feels
Yeah.
very strange to begin with.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Journaling helps you get the things out of your head. Do you do it then, Sam? Do you do the journaling? I know a lot of people do like colouring and, you know, the adult colouring books. I've got one, but I'll be honest, I haven't got the concentration. It flips your mindset, Paula says.
Mm. Yeah.
You work in multiples of 4B. 2 and 2. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think the more things you're grateful for, the better, right? Like, the more
Yeah.
things you can find.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, I've really enjoyed our chat, to be honest with you. It's nice to, I guess we have different perspectives on it, but it's nice to just have a chat and just recognise in each other the same things. As you say,
Yeah.
you feel so alone with it sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I was really nervous before I came on, but I'm really glad that we've done it now.
Yeah,
Even
me
if we did
too.
have the tech problems.
So we now know that it's just that for some reason I can't invite you, but you can invite me. So we know.
Yeah.
Now we know. So
Yeah.
if anybody's got any topics they'd like us to cover at some point, we'll have a go with that. B. Oh,
Yeah.
you've done great.
Thank you.
Thanks, B. You can watch it back when it's uploaded, and I'm going to put it onto our Instagram, our YouTube, and Twitter. I think it's a really good conversation to be had, and hopefully we'll have many more of them.
Yeah. Definitely. Right.
So,
Before you go, Lauren, I found something this morning.
oh
Like
God.
literally this morning. And if you don't remember it, I'm just going to be sat here looking like an absolute idiot.
Yay! Oh, I remember. It was when you went out on your works do, wasn't it, that I get it to you? Was it when you went out on your works do?
No, I was really upset that I couldn't come to Sylvia's first birthday because everyone had these headphones on.
Yeah, that was it.
So when Luke was next in Beverly, I made him bring me one so I didn't feel left out.
Bless you. That girl is sassy now, Sylvia. She really is.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, like how is it? Like I found it this morning.
It's funny you say that, actually. I've got that little post-it note somewhere in one of my drawers that you wrote for me still.
Oh, that's so cute.
But yeah, shall we leave everybody to their Friday evening? Friday
Yeah,
evening. I've loved this, and we'll have more of them, hopefully, and hopefully everybody's found it
definitely.
interesting.
Definitely, yeah.
Right, so what I'll do is I'll put the helplines in, guys. Should you need any professional advice at all, there is now some helplines in the chat. If you're really, really struggling, obviously, I always say we're not professionals, so please, use those numbers if you have to. But we'll leave it there.
Yeah,
It's been great talking, and
definitely.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah, I hope you all have a lovely weekend.
Bye.
Bye.